What's up, Duckers? Welcome to the February edition of a Ducking Wrestling podcast. I am getting everything set up to go on with Lathan so that we can talk about the August 1992 edition of WCW where Ron Simmons wins the WCW Championship and becomes the first Black World Heavyweight Champion. So we're going to get on it and hope y'all enjoy the show.
Previously on a Ducking Wrestling podcast.
Raven rule.
I don't think that was his name, but alright.
Have a good night!
He's probably like,
It's a nice day. It's a nice day. In the 90s, that wasn't.
Talk about wrestling, hailing from parts unknown. The only man with opinions that matter.
What's up, Duckers? Welcome back to a Ducking Wrestling podcast, our February episode. Always here, the big dog daddy, holding it down, getting things going, organizing people who don't want to be organized. As always, I am here.
and his charming Negro sidekick.
My charming sidekick. We have Mr. Loden over here, if you, according to the James Tellerico campaign here in Texas. Lathan, what is up?
What's going on, Art? Everything is lovely, man. How's life been?
Oh, dude, it's good, man. It is officially college baseball season. My daughter has started up softball, which I got convinced to be a coach with her this year. So doing that. My son is starting T-ball here in a few weeks. It's the most wonderful time of the year, man.
Yeah, you're gonna be busy.
Oh man, no joke. How about y'all? Y'all doing okay?
Everything's good. They're still upright and annoying the hell out of me, so everything's right with the world.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. But
grandbaby is actually grandbaby's a little bit bigger than what she's supposed to be, so she may be making a surprise debut a little bit sooner than we expected.
Yeah, boy, that's what's up, dude. That is awesome. I'm so excited for y'all, man. That is so exciting. But with it being February, it is Black History Month. So what else to watch except one of the most important moments in professional wrestling history? We are talking about August 8th of 1992 when WCW crowned their first Black World Heavyweight Champion in Ron Simmons, defeating Vader in a house show. Not a pay-per-view, not a Monday, Saturday show. It was a house show. And, giving it a little historical context at this point, it's 1992. We are 4 years into the Turner era. We're still under Bill Watts at this point. And, I mean, it's really kind of a struggling company. WCW, they're trying to build legit athletes at this point. You've got Jim Ross on commentary who continues to point out the legit background of these guys and their, with Vader being a former offensive lineman. I think he played at Colorado or Colorado State. I'm not sure which one. Do you remember?
Florida State.
No, Ron Simmons played at Florida State.
Oh, wait, who are you talking about?
Vader.
Oh. We give a fuck about Vader.
At this point, we still give a fuck about Vader.
That's fair. Yeah, he's still a powerhouse at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. JR mentions in the match that he was an offensive lineman. I think he played for the Colorado Buffaloes. Of course, Ron Simmons, jersey retired at Florida State as a defensive lineman. So, we've got Vader here, who is the World Heavyweight Champion, being managed by one of the most legit tough men in pro wrestling history in Harley Race. And, yeah, man, I'm kind of excited about this. Lathan, what are your thoughts?
Oh, man, so in the library of matches I've never watched and probably should have at some point in time, given my presentation And growing up in a household that always leveled on or leaned towards knowing random Black history facts, I never watched this match. Also, real quick, Big Bang Vader went to the University of Colorado. So you're right.
There we go. All right.
So go Buffs.
Yeah.
So
Which they're not even buffaloes, they're bison. There are no buffalo in the United States. Did you know that? Fun fact.
did not know that.
Yeah, what we call buffalo are actually bison.
Well, I call them delicious and too goddamn expensive over the counter at HEB.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bison is when I worked at Cabela's for lunch every day, I would go up and have a bison burger from the little cafe that sadly is now gone from Cabela's after COVID. They shut it down and then they now use it for like storage, which is bullshit because it was one of the best burgers you would have in your entire life.
Oh man, see, I always told myself I wanted to get a venison burger from over there and never made it.
Yeah.
But now I don't have to go over there running over there trying to figure out where to go get meat from.
Yeah. Right here.
So.
Anyway. Well, and one of the things too that I really I like about this match is that or especially me, I'm kind of a wrestling belt fanatic when it comes to the designs and the looks and different things. And what everybody's going to notice in this one is Ron Simmons, the belt that he wins is not the traditional WCW big gold belt. And that is because in 1991, Ric Flair took that bitch to WWF where they were calling him the real world champion. And it's a really interesting story about Flair going to WWE, WWF. And what was it? He had to put a deposit on the belt.
So at the time, I don't know if it's still accurate to this point now, but territorial wise, if you were going to be the crown champion, whatever belt you had, you had to put a deposit on it to carry it along with you to represent in different territories and to, it's technically your personalized belt in a sense. But anyway, short story long, Ric Flair got into a big dispute with who was running WCW at the time?
Bill Watts.
No, it wasn't Watts.
Oh, maybe Jim Herd would have been.
Yeah, it was that the Domino guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So him and Jim Herd kept on butting heads. Ric Flair said, peace -1, and gave him some very nice sign language, and left during his title run, and then went on to WWF, and they said, bring back the belt, and they're like, give my money back, and they're like, we're not giving your money back, and he's like, well, the bitch is mine then, so I don't know what to tell you, and that's where you get the big gold belt premiering on WWF TV.
Yep. It didn't last long. It didn't last long because I think eventually the lawsuit started coming in, and Vince wanted no part of that. But the WCW belt that Ron Simmons wins is actually one of my favorite belts. Like I think
it's a pretty dope belt.
The simplicity of it, but it's still really, really nice. Anytime I play 2K, Wrestling 2K, which we got 2K26 coming out. So you go check out my Rowdy Texan Gaming channel. I will have that bitch early, and we'll be working on that, getting content out the day it's released. But I always put that as like whenever I create WCW in universe mode, like that's always the belt I use as the championship. One, because they actually call it the WCW championship in the game. And two, I've always liked the look of it. I like the simplicity, but it looks real. I mean, it's classic. It's like it just reminds me of the Winged Eagle.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was sad that I never got to witness it being defended on regular television. And I don't know eventually when they went back to the big gold belt, but I do miss that one. It looked better, aesthetically pleasing on most of the wrestlers. That big gold belt, I love it, but at the same time, it was like for a different time. Like they could have moved on, kept the regular world heavyweight title, the WCW heavyweight title, instead of keep bringing back the big gold, and it would look even cooler over time.
Yeah, well, I think the big gold became kind of synonymous still with the NWA because that's what it was representing at that time. Ric Flair was, I still believe, the NWA champion, and that's what it was. It hadn't transitioned to WCW standing on their own yet. I still think they were part of the NWA, right?
Yeah, that was when they eventually started to dissolve altogether, and then WCW became its own property. Probably about 1 or 2 years later after that. But at the same time to that, like, okay, well, we dissolved from you. Here's this new belt. Like, it's like WWF after a while, towards the end of the 99s and 2000s, came out with like 15 gajillion different belts.
Yeah.
I mean, for as terrible as the designs were, but they were just like, it's kind of one of those definitive shifts, if you will, into like a newer, elaborate program that we're running and that we're going forward with as far as like our presentation. And this was a good one. It was a good adjustment and a good pivot. But the big old belt, cool. Or if you wanted to, like, going back in time and playing couch quarterback, bring the big old belt out for special people, like they did with John Cena and that stupid spinner belt. Like if Ric Flair's going to be the champion again, okay, cool. He can be the champion with this belt. But then when Goldberg beats him, he go back to the other belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hindsight will always get you like that. But everybody, This is going to be a unique watch along because this was at a house show. So there is like one recording of it, and I could not find it on Netflix. I couldn't find it on Peacock. So we're venturing over to YouTube to find this. So what I did was I typed in Ron Simmons wins the WCW World Title and then found the match. It is 12 minutes, 19 seconds long. So that's going to be the best way for the watch along. So let's go ahead and take our first break, and then we will come back and we will get going on everything else. So we'll be right back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Welcome back. Too hard, too fast. Where we go off the rails and George has to worry about it. So here we go.
Find Too Hard, Too Fast podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get started on the watch along itself, this is the jersey of the month, getting that Aggie baseball fired back up. This month, February 2026, marks the 23rd episode of No Repeated Jerseys. So my wife is super happy that I keep buying stuff. So I've still got stuff in there that I haven't worn. So we rolling, baby. We rolling. So, all right, man. Here we go. We going to get it started. Lathan, you ready?
I am ready.
All right. We're coming into it in 3, 2, 1, and play. All right. We got Vader holding that old school WCW championship belt, which this was still like peak Vader. This was before he kind of lost. Yeah. And you got Ron Simmons with that Jerry curl, dude. Just let your soul glow, baby.
Oh, dude, you beat me to it. I was going to say something. Ron Simmons with hair is wild. Like, I am not used to this. I don't know if I'll ever be okay with this right now. Because, it's kind of one of those things where, like, you stop seeing Ron Simmons for a while in, like, bigger featured events, and he just became a side player. And somewhere between that, he lost his hair.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember seeing Ron Simmons one day with the Nation of Domination on WWF. And I'm like, oh, this dude used to have, like, hair, like Jerry curl hair. That thing is dripping.
That's all. Whenever I watch this match, like, I watched it before we started getting going just to kind of get a feel for it and listen to the commentary and stuff. And, yeah, that's all I could keep thinking is, I mean, the video quality is very 1992. I mean, this is not a refined recording, which you would think with the importance of this match being the crowning of the first Black world champion, that it would be something that WCW would have at some point featured, or WWE would have gotten a hold of and been like, "Hey, we want to restore this." I mean, it's got to be in a video vault somewhere. That obviously
it used to be on WWE Network back in the day. I remember because they used to, you know how they placate to everybody, whatever they are for that month. And it used to be like Black History Month, like Ron Simmons, Kofi Kingston, The Rock's mini matches, or at least half of them, because he's biracial.
he only gets 14 days.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they used to feature it on there. I'm surprised I couldn't find it at all on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, but man, he was still big and strong as shit back then too.
Dude, I have always liked Ron Simmons. I liked him. I'll exclude that point when he first came to WWF as Farouk and was like wearing the foam rubber armor and shit. Like I'm not
talking about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that out because that was stupid. But no, I mean Ron Simmons, you know, here at this point I was watching WWF. I knew of him, but you know, wasn't watching WCW at this time. When he came in as that character, I was like, this is weird, but I mean, they were going through that transition. If you had put Ron Simmons in the original Farouk character in 1992, I think it may have translated better. But he came in what, 95, 96, right? Something around there.
Around there, yeah. When his manager was Sunny.
Yeah.
No, she's gross now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm remembering.
That's a big ass slam.
Yeah. Dude, Ron Simmons strong as fuck. Like I mean, Vader is a solid 400 pounds, and Ron Simmons is picking him up.
Through him. Yeah, dude, this is a meat bumping type of match. Big men bumping meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he like when I look back at matches like this, like they could have done so much more with him. And like, granted, like he was a last minute replacement for Sting because it's supposed to be Sting versus Vader in this match. But Sting got injured, and so they just had to run with it. And I guess they had like some kind of raffle or lottery. They had a lottery to see who was going to wrestle him, and Ron just happened to win the lottery. Happened to win, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, you all started in Baltimore, so I mean, if you want to put a black person in the ring to get over, that'd be a good place to do it.
Oh yeah, dude. The pop when he wins is freaking insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and JR's commentary makes it so much better. I don't know, like it baffles me to think like 1992 there hadn't been a black world champion. Now in WCW, I kind of get it. I mean, it was a predominantly Southern territory, and you're playing to your audience. I mean, I get that, but
playing to what audience, Art?
Playing to them crackers.
I'm like, whose demographic you really trying to play to, Art?
Democrats? I don't know.
Yeah, those Reds.
Yeah. You know, I kind of get the hesitation there, but at the end of the day, like the way I look at it is this is a business, right? You're going to put somebody in there who you think is going to make money. What does it matter what color their skin is? You know what I mean? Like, you want people that are going to make money. Like, to me, the idea of racism contradicts like capitalistic ideas where you want the best there to make the most money. It doesn't make sense. But you know,
I mean, he's not the first one that they've almost put over. I guess. Ron Simmons and being black, but like it's just kind of one of those things that like. I mean, if you look at WWF, how long did it take? The Rock, and he was half black.
Yeah.
So like it was just like it's not necessarily the marketing part about it. It's just that you have a bunch of And especially in '92, you have a bunch of good old boys still running a lot of these territories. You got a lot of these old country backwood folks still running creative and booking, and so they're only going to let you get so far.
Yeah.
And especially when you're still in like smaller towns, like I'm sure Ron Simmons has plenty of stories to tell. His stories working in WCW in itself, but kicked out.
Yeah, that
But
was
you're gonna give it that big honky splash. No sir, Bob.
that said, like watching this match, there's like they both hit a lot of big moves that it's like kick out, kick out. Like it's this kind of match is believable to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, two big dudes bumping meat, and
Yeah.
they are hitting.
They are what they call in the business throwing potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is stiff. I mean, Ron Simmons has always been a stiff worker anyways. Vader, he's just that boy just stiff. You can tell by the way he wall around the ring. But yeah, they ran into each other, and it's like it gives the reality of wrestling,
Yeah.
Yeah, like sure, matches are predetermined, but like when you get between those ropes, it's your job to make it look as realistic and creative as possible, and they're doing a good job with their strengths. There's just two solid dudes just throwing each other around. Oh, with a suplex reversal.
Nice little snap suplex by Ron Simmons. I'm trying my best to not call him Farouk, just because that's how I always knew him.
Yeah.
Which
but
I still think,
it's like
I still think that the fact that they didn't put the WWF title on him in the mid '90s when he was the leader of the Nation of Domination was such a missed opportunity. Like that would have been that run would have been amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was definitely some miscues in the way that they produced them, and then also had them booked on TV. But they were still like, for what it was worth, they were still pretty over even in the tertiary titles that they held. Like you had D'Lo at one point being the Eurocontinental champion, way before Kurt Angle. He is not the first to say it. But yeah, and then of course elevating The Rock to where he eventually would become. And then Godfather had a good Intercontinental run while he was still with the Nation.
Well, fucking Mark Henry, dude. I think excluding The Rock, who I think is on a different level out of the Nation. I mean, honestly, Mark Henry probably.
Oh,
God dang. Mark Henry, I think, arguably went on to have the best career out of the Nation members, excluding The Rock.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And one of the longest ones, too, because a lot of them retired way before Mark Henry did. Mark Henry was definitely good across the board as a strong athlete. And, he credits Ron Simmons a lot, going back to when he was first getting into business.
Oh, here we go, Vader setting up the power bomb. We got Simmons
going out of that.
Back.
Oh, because the Jericho just got him. Power slam.
That big ass power slam. And 3, and we've done it. Look at it. Like you can see the crowd is losing their minds. Here, but look, Vader immediately gets up and is like,
what the
shit just happened, which
yeah.
I don't get the premise behind that, but you got Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes, the natural.
Yeah. The guy celebrating was that Barry Windham. I think the guy in the trunks, the kind of shorter guy, is Brian Pillman.
Yeah, that's Brian Pillman.
It's really hard to see, man, with the
yeah.
And there he is, Ron Simmons.
It was a short match, but it's like it's a house show. It was fun. It was what it needed to be.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, we'll get to that when we do our ratings here in just a couple of minutes. But I mean, it's a good moment. That's a big ass house show too.
Yeah.
and this is another thing. It's a house show, but I mean they're obviously got cameras and everything there, so it's not like just a regular tour. I don't know. I don't know why this isn't more available.
So it's Tom Zink, Brian Pillman, Barry Windham, Dustin Rhodes all come to the ring.
Who? Tom what?
Tom Zink.
Hmm.
I have no idea.
And that's going to end it for that match. That's going to call it there. So not a super long match, not something, that we're typically used to whenever it comes to quality of the matches as far as the visual goes. But what we're going to do, we're going to take our last break, organize our thoughts, and then we will be back in just a minute for our final thoughts and ratings. See you on the other side.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is Fanboy Dave. Catch myself, Big Kev, and Jeremy from Brothers of Discussion weekly on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other platform you use to listen to your favorite podcasters. We talk about WWE mostly and have a real good time giving our takes. And every now and then, might throw a little shade at AEW. So hope you give us a shot. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back, everybody. We just got done watching the historic moment where Ron Simmons won the World Heavyweight Championship off of Big Van Vader at a house show August 8th, 1992, to become the first black world champion in, I can't even say in wrestling history, right? Because, I mean, there had to have been, a small, I don't know, like a territory or something probably did it. And this was
not on the books. Didn't happen.
Oh, that's true, I guess. Yeah. So
yeah.
I guess as far as it's concerned, we'll
just say the first black champion of a major company.
There we go. We can.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some indies out there that was like, oh, he's black in this.
Yeah.
But, they weren't on television. They weren't definitely on television. They weren't world recognized yet. So,
yeah. Fair enough. And actually, funny enough, I don't know why I thought that this was a short title reign, but it lasted 150 days. Like, he was champion until December of 92.
Yeah, he closed out the year.
Yeah. So, which then in December of 92, he did lose it back to Vader at that point. But yeah, Lathan, let's talk about it, and then we'll give it a rating and get on up out of here with a special announcement at the end of the episode. So, Lathan, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna take it and go on out of here. No, but it was a good match. It was entertaining. I know I say that a lot, but it was really a badass match for what it was worth in a house show to have something that crazy surprisingly go off. It's super awesome because realistically in most house shows, if they still do house shows nowadays, you already know what's going to happen. It's going to be a championship match, but the champion's still going to win because it's not televised, so it has no canon event that goes on to the actual TV side of life, right? But this was cool. This is what it goes to show what 90s wrestling was like a lot of times because, disregard the historical landmark of it, but you would see this happen where you went to a house show, then came back a champion on TV, and then everybody's like, what happened? And then you would have the announcers come out and be like, yeah, during the house show this weekend, such and such won. That's probably how they did Bill Goldberg's undefeated streak. All of his house show appearances still counted, even though you didn't see them. Right. So it's probably just as legitimate as the first Intercontinental title of Pat Patterson. So there you go.
Yeah, the tournament that never really happened in Rio
de Puerto Rico. Yeah. Listen, if it always happens, you never saw it. It's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yep.
And so the one thing that I really loved about it, because I went and looked it up while you were talking about it earlier, that makes this even more genuine and like wholeheartedly awesome is that Ron Simmons, in fact, did not know up until the day of and minutes before he went out that he was going to win the title.
That's
so cool. Yeah. So like what you see is like genuine like excitement and like pride being emitted from a guy who rarely shows emotion on TV. Like for anybody that's ever watched Farouk, Ron Simmons, or any variation of him, he's always a tough son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. And especially being a man in that time frame or in that decade, growing up the way he did, probably tough as shit. Man, don't show emotion. And to have him show this much emotion and vulnerability was actually really cool. And to that note, to have him carry it for a little bit longer, shout out to Bill Watts for making the decision to feel confident to put the belt on him in a time frame where, like you said, this is a good old boys network. Like, I have the cool people with long hair and blue eyes and pale face to look up to. But to put the title on him and give some representation in a different way that it wasn't really shown, where it wasn't access, that was pretty fucking awesome. Especially in the early 90s. Like, there's so many other things that were going on and like race related that were just detrimental to like a divide in the country. And so to have this happen, especially in WCW of all places, was really awesome. Not to get on my identity politics, but to be a black kid, to have somebody to look up to like that's pretty dope. So because while I didn't really immerse myself in wrestling at the time, I know I would go to like toy shops and stuff, and you see like the generic action figures, and he wouldn't have the black guy with the title on, but that's like the dollar store knockoff. And then you see Ron Simmons, and they show him with the title, and it's like, oh, that's real now. Okay, cool. Yeah, this ain't that cheap stuff no more. So, but the other thing too is to actually talk about it and look back on it, like it's Ron Simmons winning the WCW heavyweight title at the time. We don't talk about like it's 1998 before we talk about a black champion again, and safe black because he's half black.
Yeah, which is weird, but like you say 92 to 98, it sounds like it's so damn long. It's like 6 years. It's weird. It's weird to like this would be something that I would imagine us discussing in like a match from the 80s. Like that, but it just to me like the 90s became so, and maybe it was mid to late 90s, more so when we're older and stuff, that it just felt like there was a lot less racial tension in the country.
Yeah.
Like we got to a point where it very much like it felt like we were probably the most like unified we had ever been. And then to think like, well, damn, we still didn't have, the representation, like you said, for black people to have a champion at that time, but again, you're also talking about the time where, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan have kind of a stranglehold on professional wrestling, period. I mean, they're making so much money.
Yeah.
And even though Hulk Hogan was dark as shit with his hot dog skin.
I mean, he's Italian, so he's like the white black, I guess. During the match we were talking about how I was saying it to me, it doesn't make sense to avoid having a black champion because of racial issues, because you want that money. You want to make that money. And I think that is kind of where they were at that point. Hogan and Flair were safe and they were bringing in a ton of money. So that's where you're keeping it. I see it. To me, it just doesn't make sense to avoid having a champion because of their skin color. It just doesn't make sense to me because I'm thinking about the money. Like, I want money. You've got a guy who's over. I don't care what color he is. Like, I don't care I don't care. It's not a factor. I want that money that he's going to bring in. Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
And but like also too, I mean, to that point too, it could have brought in more ratings because now you have a different demographic that does have access, especially WCW. Like they have, like TBS is a nationally syndicated channel that is basic cable. You could have presented him more often and had more of the black demographic come in and watching them because they have something to look forward to. You know, it's just like it was in the same level of boxing back in the day. You know, some of the best matches that they like used to pull in all the pay-per-view money was a black heavyweight champion or a black boxer versus a white one. Realistically, you know, it sounds weird to say it out loud like that, but it's the reality of it. That's how it played out. And, you know, as many people got mad at Mike Tyson for knocking a bunch of honkies out. It just was what it was. So, but like they could have had there's such a bigger draw they could have had with it. And like even to WCW, which was even more crazier when I'm thinking about it, is well, next time they have a black world heavyweight champion, it's because the craziness of Vince Russo decides to creatively put him over and put Booker T into the title contention.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we have The Rock on the other side. So we're showing progress, whether it be with the contextual of creativity at the time. But, like, you know, eventually, like, we finally get to that point where you have more.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have, like, your Kofi, and you have Mark Henry on his House of Pain run, our Hall of Pain run that was super over. That should have kept going a little bit longer, but, you know, injuries be damned. Yeah. And then you have Cody Raheem Rhodes right now representing. And, man, like, it's awesome.
That's so good. That's so good, man. Well, go ahead. Let me hear your rating on it, man. 1 to 5. You know the rules.
Oh man, I'm the wrestling fan in me that loves like things like this that happens on house shows because that's the only way I would watch wrestling most of the time is to go to one of these little house shows. We'll rank this at a 3.2. Now the black part of me is going to rank this at a 17 and 3/5. Stick with it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, I ain't wearing my dashiki right now, motherfucker.
Well, I agree. I agree with everything you said on there, man. I mean, the match was really good. I mean, this would be to me one of the higher rated matches that I would ever give had it been more. I'm trying to think of the way to say it, like better quality would have been, you know, like if this thing had been on TNT, where I mean, it is a full presentation.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is a house show, so they dialed it back a bit. You know, if they had given them a full pay-per-view main event, or if they had given them a televised main event, something like that, I think and given them more time, I think.
No, you could put this on the Saturday night show on TBS.
Yeah. If there had been something like that, it would have been higher. I'm going to give it a 3.89. Still, I mean, I really enjoyed the match. It was two big guys who could wrestle and still like got into what looked like a legit. I mean, there were times where it's like, damn, Vader and Ron Simmons throwing those potatoes, dude. They are like throwing hands here. Yeah,
these some tough son bitches.
Yeah. That was I'm going to give it the 3.89. I really enjoyed the match. I wish, you know, we talk about hindsight all the time. I wish it had been presented better, which more time into it, a better presentation would probably have raised the rating on there. But we're going to wrap it up here, everybody. Special announcement for the March episode. We have an epic crossover event of podcasts coming. We have a Ducking Wrestling podcast crossing over with my other podcast, the Magic Q podcast. We are going to watch and discuss the first televised wrestling event from Disney's MGM Studios in Florida so that we can bring everything together. We're going to have Lathan, we're going to have me, we're going to have Logan, who is my co-host on the Magic Q podcast, who is also set in on this show. So he is a wrestling aficionado. He is the voice of River City Wrestling in San Antonio, Texas. So epic crossover coming, but we got to get out of here. Lathan, my brother, Always good seeing you, man. We will get back with y'all. We will see y'all in March. And always remember, holla at your boy.